Hello everyone, and welcome back to Bible and Games. We are still playing Super Mario Brothers 3. We are in World 5, the Sky World. This is the only place on the internet where you can get your daily dose of Bible reading and video game fix all at the same time. We are in the book of Genesis, chapter 4, and we are going to start where we left off a couple of days ago in verse 16. Remember to keep these in mind when we read the Bible. We should keep it within the context of the whole story. Don't take verses out of their proper context. Everything should be understood literally in its history and fact, unless otherwise stated in Scripture that it is not history or fact. In other words, that it's a parable or some vision or a dream or something like that. And of course, always compare Scripture with Scripture. Let's see, we put those Hammer Bros to sleep. I showed you how that music box worked here. And let's go ahead and do this castle because I like completing every level. I like going through every single level, even though we necessarily don't have to. Where's the fun in not doing everything? I think not sure what's in this block, but I want to get it. Oh, there we go. It's a feather. I guess I need it. That would be helpful. Though I'm not sure. If I remember in the past when I played this, I actually did use a P flyer to get up there. I don't think we can make it. Let's try it again. Well, maybe not. Forget that. I always have. Oh, here's another feather. Do we dare go back down there? Me and being in a hurry, yep, did it again. Yeah, that was just a waste of the feather. That pipe there, I think, is where you come out from that little secret area up there. Wherever it brought us. Oh, we made it. Oh, yeah. You know, I've not showed you every secret always, because I either end up dying or losing the power-up, or forget even what I'm trying to show you. For those who haven't played this, and this is brand new, look, I got a bridge. I can cross back over here, though I don't know why you'd want to do that. But for those of you watching who probably played this game like I have when you were little, growing up, you've probably played it thousands of times over. Let's get this card. So far, I've only gotten one correct. No. No! I did it again! I pushed the button too soon that time. Yep, I end up with the bottom part of the mushroom, correct? Let's see. Let's use... We got a lot of stars. Let's just go ahead and use the star. That way we can get rid of a slot. So whatever ends up being here. A P-flyer, so I'm glad I did get this one. That was a very good item to get. I think I'll make a separate video in my little series here that just goes through all the secrets or things that I missed in any of these games that we play through. And in this one there's going to be quite a few. I just want to show you everything we don't always have time to sit and go through these, because I mainly just want to get through it. And not spend so much time on one single game, especially since it goes by a little bit slower because we're reading through the Bible as well. And that takes time. Yeah, I don't know why oh no! No! Wasn't fast enough. I always like this part too. You can go around here and you can like bust all of these blocks with your tail if you had your raccoon tail or tanuki tail. Oh no, I choked! Underjumped. I underjumped. This castle, I believe, is just a... It's just a gateway to what we're going to be getting into next, which has lots of these clouds in the next world. This is it! Like, it's kind of cool too, because then you can see the perspective. We're up in the sky on a cloud and Skyland here. And you can see where we were just at. I always thought that was kind of cool. Way down there. Let's see. Genesis chapter 4 verse 16. Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. Now all these names of places are important. I mean, everything's important. They give us a perspective of where and when, you know, and where all this stuff takes place. So just keep that in mind when we read through the Bible, just like you would reading any story, fact or fiction. Of course, the Bible is factual. We can rely on it as history and everything that is written in it. But he dwelt in the land of Nod, east of Eden. So eastward of Eden, which is where they were. Oh, well, Adam and Eve were originally in Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and again, that means it's a fancy word in the Bible for saying that Cain had sexual relations with his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch, and he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mehujael. I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher these names. And Mehujael begot Methusael, and Methusael begot Lamech. Then Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the second was Zillah. And Ada bore Jabal, and he was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jubal, and he was the father of all who play the harp and flute. And as for Zillah, she also bore Tubal Cain, hyphenated, Tubal Cain, an instructor of every crafts in bronze and iron, and the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. Then Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice. Wives and Lamech, listen to my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me. Again, here's the second murder mentioned in the Bible. I have killed a man for wounding me. Well, thanks, Lamech, for admitting that to everyone. Even a young man for hurting me. For somebody, you know, hurting or wounding him, for whatever reason, they must have been in an altercation or in a fight, and the outcome, he killed them. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, and Lamech 77-fold, he makes this declaration. So, we're going to stop there and just take a look quick here at where did Cain get his wife? Because we know that there's no 2 accounts of creation. There's Adam and Eve, the first 2, the only 2, And from Adam and Eve was born every single person alive right now and who's ever lived on this earth. Just think about that. Just think about, I mean, billions and billions of people that have lived and died and are alive right now on this earth since Adam and Eve. It's quite astonishing. And to still be, you know, with all the genetic mutations we have, still, you know, being copies of copies of copies of copies, and our genetic code being copied so many times, and the fact that we still resemble human beings at this point, it's quite amazing. Of course, since the fall of man, all of these things have happened. We have genetic mutations, we have problems in our bodies, reproduction, there's anomalies, the weather, of course, hurricanes and tsunamis and earthquakes. But, obviously, Cain would have married one of his sisters. Let's see. The first man, Adam, was the only human before Eve was created because God said it is not good for man that he should be alone. Eve is the mother of all living. With only Adam and Eve as their only parents of all humanity, Cain and Abel then must have married their sisters, and all of the first generation siblings would have married each other in order to populate the earth. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. You have a man and woman, they would have procreated, and Adam and Eve would have had, you know, obviously would have had more than just Cain and Abel. They would have had many, many children. It doesn't exactly say how many children they had, boys and girls, but they would have had to have married each other, close siblings, first generation. At that time, there was no law against incest, of course. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, later on, that is forbidden, because the genetic line was so pure in the beginning, there was no problem in inbreeding. As the population grew large enough, and the risk of genetic problems increased due to sin's curse, God outlawed marriage between immediate family members in Leviticus chapter 18. So, he would have took a wife at some point in time, obviously from Adam and Eve, from one of his sisters. They would have gotten married and had children. And of course, we go through the list here of Cain all the way down to Lamech. And it's interesting that Lamech here was the first mention that had taken 2 wives for himself. Didn't he think he was special? The name of one was Ada, and the name of the second Zillah. So, you know, all these things in the Bible just, in my mind, I don't know if anybody else's, but when you put things like that in Scripture, and remember, we're reading a story of mankind, of God creating everything, creating man, and then man's fall, and then God's dealings with man, all the way up to our redemption with Jesus Christ, all the way up to the New Testament, God revealing himself to mankind, and then all the way up to the birth and death of Jesus Christ, and the New Testament age, the church age, which we live in now. It's interesting. And none of those things were hid from us. All the gory, the embarrassing details are all recorded right there as history, as fact. I mean, stop calling yourself a Christian if you say you can't believe that all of it ties in together and that it's all true, because if you take anything out and say, well, this isn't true and that isn't true, and Genesis creation week was, each day was 1,000 years, and so on and so forth, and things like that, you break apart the foundation. That's why Genesis is very important. The Old Testament is very important, very relevant. Though we don't live by the Old Testament anymore, we live by the New Testament, which is what Jesus commanded us as Christians to love one another, and he clarified for us that all the commandments are summed up in this one, that we should love God and serve Him first and foremost in our life. And secondly, of course, all the other commandments toward mankind are summed up in this one, that we should treat our neighbor and love our neighbor as ourselves. So, it's quite simple. And it's all very important. Like I said, the dates, the places, the details, the gory details, the embarrassing details, the fact that Lamech took for himself 2 wives, and we know, of course, God does not condone 2 wives, or multiple plural marriages, as we call it. Because if we look at Scripture, again, comparing Scripture with Scripture, what did Jesus have to say about it in the New Testament? He outright condemned it, and of course, if we go back to the foundation in Genesis, we see God created man and woman. He didn't create 2, a man and 2 wives for Adam. He created Adam and Eve. They were married, joined together by God. That was the first marriage. So, you know, it's hard to understand at sometimes, and it's easy to understand. If you just, look at it objectively, like you would any other thing in any other historical book or writing, as far as, you know, the names, the places go. And we can see these places if we look. And these places are being found all the time, these geological places that the Bible mentions, coming to life today as we uncover them. Let's see, this is the first really sky world, and I was messing around, not paying attention, and I fell in the waterfall in the sky. Wonder where it went. Did it go back to the ocean? Let's go ahead and use a music box. Can I get rid of that? Let's just use... You know what? Let's use a frog suit. Just to get rid of them. So now I can get this feather here, and that'll be a feather instead of just a mushroom. Because if you're little Mario, if you've shrunken down, the mushroom will only make you big. So if you're already Super Mario, Big Mario, or whatever you want to call it, I think it's technically being Super Mario. If you're big, or if you got a power up, then you get a feather, the next thing up. Oh no! No! Oh. Okay, I just really want to get through this level. Let's use another frog suit. Again, I probably should have actually used these so you could see them at least. In the water world, maybe you're supposed to use them, but yeah. I honestly never did use them. And why didn't I go flying up here before? Let's see. Oh, there's more. Probably fly. We're just gonna cheat. I don't know if it's cheating, it's just using the resources that you have available to you. To skip all of the hard stuff and fly over. This is Sky World after all. Let's see. Look at that little Kidu there, trying to throw stuff on you. So in case you made it this far and you're already shrunken down and lost your power-ups, you might just get tripped up at the last second. Alright, I think we're going to end it here. Looks like we got several, 4, 5 more levels here, including the castle left. We'll be in World 6. And right now, honestly, I can't think of what World 6 is. We'll be in the book of Genesis chapter 4, verse 25 tomorrow. And as always, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be notified in my new videos. I do this for me and also for you, so we can all learn and grow together while reading through the Bible. So feel free to get involved by posting comments, anything you feel like you'd like to add that pertains to the Bible or the game we're playing. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time. God bless.